Sanskrit class வந்திருக்கு.
Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Guru Medeva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Asmadgurubhyo Namaha श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। Okay. So now we are seeing the 44th shloka. That is what we were seeing in the last class.
Sorry, Mama. Sorry, நடுவில் interruption. நான் ராதா இன்டர்காம்ல கூப்பிட்டு ரிமைன் பண்ணுமா?
என்னது?
ராதா நாராயண சமயத்து இன்டர்காம்ல ரிமைன் பண்ணணுமா?
ராதா நரசிம்மனா?
ராதா நாராயண சாமி ராதா.
வேணா ரிமைன் பண்ணுங்க. ஆமா.
Okay.
நீங்க வந்துட்டீங்கன்னு சொல்லிட்டீங்கன்னா then that means they must be thinking there is no class.
So I will call them. Okay, sorry.
Let's call them. I will wait for a couple of minutes. என்ன ப்ராப்ளம் தெரியல. I remember very clearly in the morning I sent a brief video. சில சமயம் இந்த இன்டர்நெட் டவுன் ஆயிருந்ததுன்னா அது I will think it has gone but it has actually not gone.
Actually சம்ஸ்கிருதம் கிளாஸ் வந்திருக்கு. இதுக்கு வரல.
சொல்லியாச்சு ரிமைன் பண்ணியாச்சு வரா.
Okay.
லாகின் பண்ற அவார்ட் மெசேஜ் வரலன்னு தான் கேட்டா.
அதான். So there has been some problem today.
Okay. But they are coming. நீங்க ஆரம்பிச்சுக்கலாம்.
சரி. So as I was telling in the last class, the 44th shloka Adi Shankara gives in order to prevent a wrong impression being created because of the 40 example given in the 43rd shloka. So example, what did he give? He said like the sun rising, isn't it? He said that Avir Bhavati Atma Aruneneva Bodhena. That is what he said, right? So like the sunrise, like the early light of the sun, the dawn. Like that, the Atma will also shine and show itself, reveal itself. So this kind of an example could create a problem that previously it was dark. So right now I am an Ajnani and I will do all these sadhanas. And then this Atma Bodha, like a sun rising, like the early dawn, I will see some light and all that. And then I will become a total Mukta Purusha. The whole Atma will be revealed to me. Brahman will be revealed to me. This kind of a misunderstanding can happen. But that is what, if you literally see the previous example, that is a conclusion logically anybody will come to. So here he immediately wants to correct any such misunderstanding. So he starts this sloka with saying, Atma tu satatam praptah. This Atma is always available for recognition. It is not that it has to, after sadhanas only it has to come. It is always available for recognition. Then he says, Api apraptavat avidyaya. And I told you, api should be taken as yadyapi. Yadyapi means even though. Even though it seems to be not prapti because of avidya. So we have to make it very clear in our mind that this Atma Jnanam or attainment of Atma is not an event. We have to understand that this Atma is always there. It is revealing in itself in everything, every thought. Pratibodham viditam matam. So that we have seen. In every thought, this Atma is revealing itself. Without this Atma, nothing will be revealed. No knowledge can take place. So that's why he says, Atma tu satatam praptihi. It's always available for recognition. However, because of avidya, ajnanam, it appears as if it is a aprapta vastu. That's what he says. Okay. So then, that's why it appears as if it is not it is not attained, right? And it looks like a sadhya vastu, not a siddha vastu, as if something is to be done to attain Atma. So when we say Atma is siddha, what is this Atma Swarupam? I told you in the last class, it is a Swarupa, Atma Swarupam is Ananda. So Ananda is siddha. Our happiness is a siddha vastu. If I do this, I will become happy. When we say, we are talking out of total ignorance. Because our Swarupam is always being happy. The unhappiness is because of avidya. This, we must understand this distinction very clearly. Whenever we are feeling or experiencing any sorrow or unhappiness, it is because of avidya. And avidya means what? Maya. This Maya Shakti is veiling, it is covering this happy nature of ours during those times. This Maya Shakti is making us feel apurnaha during those times, and we feel unhappy. And we think that because we are apurnaha, mistakenly we are taking ourselves apurnaha. So when we get something, we feel that I have become purnaha. When that happens, momentarily our nature, which is happiness, it surfaces. But Maya, can't tolerate it. Immediately he will, it will attack again and say, let me see how you are being happy. It will give you some other illusion to make you unhappy again. So this is the constant fight between avidya and vidya, or with avidya and our swarupa, which goes on in our life. And that is why this mixture of happiness and unhappiness keeps on coming and going. So what here Shankaracharya is going to the extent of saying that you are actually searching for something which you already have. Because once you say Atma is Sada Praptihi, and we are looking for Atma, so let us do join Vedanta class, let me do all these sadhanas and all that. Let me get the knowledge of myself. Let me become a Mukta Purusha. Underline the word become. Huh? All these things, Adi Shankara says, it's all because of your avidya only. You are doing all this also. Don't stop coming to Vedanta class. I now know I am Atma and always Bhati, so I don't need Vedanta. Vedanta is required for what? Not to attain Atma, but to remove the avidya. That is why Vedanta is required. So let us not jump to the conclusion that this whole exercise is a waste. Vedanta is required, but not for attainment of Atma. Not for getting the knowledge of Atma. See, the problem is whenever, even in Sanskrit, when certain words are used, those words can easily be misinterpreted. And this is not a problem only with, the Bhashyam or these slokas. Even Veda, in Upanishad also this problem comes. Taittiriya Upanishad starts Brahmavid apnoti param. Brahmavid means the one who knows Brahman. Param means moksha. Apnoti, attains. The problem is surfaced. So when the Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad itself says Brahmavid apnoti param, immediately what is the impression caused? Atma or moksha is something to be attained through some efforts, through some sadhanas. We have to attain moksha, and that is why when you see the Taittiriya Upanishad Bhashyam, Adi Shankara discusses at length this word apnoti. And he gives the conclusion that the way we have to understand is apnoti does not mean attain. Apnoti means what? Apnoti means that I attain a state of losing the ignorance, removing the ignorance. So it is not something positive that we are attaining or reaching. It doesn't refer to Atma Prapti, right? What it refers to is removal of the ignorance. When the ignorance is removed, avidya is gone, this self-effulgent Atma we realize or understand, and that is what is called apnoti. So it describes a very, very nice bhashyam is there in Taittiriya Upanishad, right? So avidyaya aprapti, avidyaya aprapti iva, because of avidya, Atma is a aprapti vishayam. That is how, as I said last time, mudamatihi chintayati. A person who is ignorant or who is deluded, he thinks like that. And that's why all these questions, when will I get moksha? Will I get moksha in this janma or not? All these questions follow from that. And so what he says, 44 here. Tannashe praptavid bhati. Tannashe means avidya nashe. When avidya is gone, Praptavat bhati. Praptavat he used. Beautiful word. As if it is attained. So when we are actually understanding the example of the sunrise, what we have to understand is the sun is always shining. We were in a dark part of the earth. And when the earth moves and comes to the bright, comes, facing the sun, automatically the darkness goes away. That is how we have to understand even that previous example of sunrise. But not everybody may not be able to go to this extent and understand. That is why Acharya is giving another example here. Okay. So Atma Prakti or Moksha Prapti, whatever you can call it, right? Ananda Prapti, Purnatva Prapti, all these words you can use. Tripti Prapti, all these are one and the same, right? So that's why he said Praptavat Bhati, as if it is attained like that. Okay. So after knowledge, it appears as if I have attained Atma, it appears as if I have attained Moksha. And even at that time, the Moksha is really not attained. Because what my nature is, how can I attain it? I have already attained, that is my nature. Satchit Ananda is my nature. Oh, Raman is also not able to log in, it seems. Okay. Just give me a second. I will send him. No, because I will have to. Doesn't matter. I will send him the recording. So whatever nature already is, there's no question of attaining that, right? Only thing is, we understand that I was never a samsari. Swarupataya, I was always a Mukta Purusha. That is the understanding. Once you understand that, that understanding is what is called Atma Prapti. Okay. So, Bhranti Nivrittihi, that I am a Baddha Purusha, that Bhranti which is there, Nivritti of that itself is what is called Atma Prapti. Right. And he gives the example here, Swakantha Bharanam Yatha. Right. So, like getting back the Abharana, right? The Abharanam is always in the neck. But some sari, pallu or something was there, it was hidden. And you were searching for it everywhere. Then finally, when you are actually adjusting your pallu, you see, oh, it is in my neck only. A contemporary example is that you have these many people who are wearing these spectacles. They will actually attach a chain to that, right? Because it should not be kept somewhere and all that. And what will happen is, and these are normally old people, so their memory also is a little bit difficult. As long as the spectacles are hanging here, you will feel the chain, right? You will know the chain is there. But the moment you put on the spectacles, what will happen? The chain will go and fall at the back. And you will not realize that the chain is there. And if you don't remember properly, you will be wearing the spectacles, but you will suddenly feel, oh, where is the chain? I am not feeling the chain. So you will start searching for the chain. And finally, you will discover the chain was always there. And a typical example we give, in Tamil, A lady was having a child in her arms, and then she was looking for the child all over the village. So this kind of example, or having butter in hand looking for ghee. So many examples are given. What to say is, it is already a prapta vastu, but we Mudamatihi look for Atma everywhere, as if it is a sadhya vastu, as if we have to attain this Atma. Right? So, Parvatanandaji says, he said the running was necessary to know that there was no need for running. So, that is what is happening to all of us in our life, right? Atma Siddha. So, that is what we have to understand from this, that the message is that don't think that all these sadhanas and all are actually leading you to attain the Atma, but all these sadhanas are necessary for you to remove the ajnanam, the avidya. This is the message. So, a student may ask a guru, how long I need to do these sadhanas? Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa. When he asks such a question, Guru will say, continue as long as you have Atma Prapti. But when the student comes and asks, I have completely understood, do I need to do these sadhanas any longer? Guru will say, no need. Because then Guru will understand that he has actually realized what the sadhanas have to deliver, which is removal of the avidya. Right? So the ball is in the student's court so far as the sadhanas are concerned. If the student asks if the sadhana is necessary, Guru will say it is necessary. If the student says, why are the sadhanas necessary? Because I am a Nitya Mukta Swarupa, Guru will say, if you have understood that, sadhanas are not necessary. So this was the message of this particular sloka. Now we'll go to the 45th sloka. Sthano purusha vadbhrantya krita brahmani jivata jivasya tattvike rupe tasmin drishte nivartate. Here he puts this Brahma Prapti in a different way. Another nice way of presenting what this Brahma Prapti is. Again, whenever we talk about anything Prapti, there is always a confusion. As I told you, misconception can immediately something which is not there now, not attained now, I have to attain. At the moment you get that interpretation, you are moving miles away from Advaita. The moment the word attained is used, what happens? Triputi comes. There is an attainer. There is something to be attained. And there is a means to attain that. All these three things will come when you say attained. And when Triputi comes, where is Advaitam? All Dvaitam, Traitam, all Tam will come. So these words in Vedanta have to be understood very, very carefully. Gurus, Upanishads, all will use such words. But the way we have to understand is the way our glorious Gurus have shown. We have to read the Bhashyam and understand what it exactly means. Right? So as I told you, this particular thing, the Apnoti is actually in Taittiriya Upanishad, he analyzes it very, very elaborately. What is the meaning for this Apnoti? Right? He says Brahma Praptihi is equal to Abrahmatva Nivrittihi. He says in Taittiriya Upanishad. You are now taking yourself as a Brahman. The nivritti of that is what is called Brahma Prapti. Right? So it is removing the thought or the idea that I am not Brahman. So now whatever feeling, Aham Abrahmasmi, this thought being replaced by Aham Brahmasmi thought is what is called Prapti. So another way we can say, today we have a Jivatva Buddhi. I am a Jiva. Right? So that Jivatva Buddhi has to go. So Jivatva Buddhi Nivrittihi eva Brahma Praptihi. So whenever we are using the word attain, we are actually talking about removing something, removing the ignorance, removing the delusions. That is what we are talking about. Well, what has happened? We have actually superimposed the Jivatva Buddhi on our real Swarupa. As we have seen, all this Adhyasa business and all that. So that superimposition only has to be removed. Nothing else is required to be done rather. Right? We saw Parichinna Ivakyana Tannase Sati Kevala. We saw that in one of the earlier slokas. I don't remember the number. Right? So all this understanding, Aham Jiva, Aham Karta, Aham Bhokta, Aham Jata, Aham Marishye, I will die. All these things are all there in our mind, intellect. That is what is totally occupying the mind space. We just have to remove all that with this jnana. Once we do that, automatically this Satyavad Bhati, right? Atma. So he says, Jiva hai Brahmani Krita. Right? Jiva hai Brahmani Krita. Krita means Kalpita. Adhyasta, we can say, right? Adhyaropita, we can take that. So what will happen? Tatvike tasmin rupe drishte sati. Tatvikam rupam means Brahma rupam, Tattva, right? It is the Swarupam, Brahma Swarupam, Tatvike rupe. Tasmin rupe drishte sati, when the original nature of the jiva is recognized, and here also again the word drishte should not be taken literally as seen, right? It should be understood as recognized. Aparoksha jnane sati, aparoksha krite sati, not paroksha. Because whenever you use the word drishte, it will refer to something paroksha, which is different from you. But here the reference is aparoksha. So drishte sati, we have to be careful to understand that it refers to understanding of my Swarupa. Okay. And nivartate, tasmin drishte nivartate. What nivartate? Tatvike rupe tasmin drishte nivartate. So the jiva bhava is removed when we understand, when we recognize our real Swarupa. That is what he says here. And he gives another example, sthano purushavat. And he uses bhrantya. So all these jiva bhava, as I told you, all those things, aham jiva, aham karta, all these are bhranti, because of bhranti. And earlier you said avidyaya, here he is using the word bhrantyaya. That's all, right? So because of that Bhranti, all these things are there. But once we understand this as a Adhyaropa, all these things, then that is what is called Brahma Prapti. And the example is Sthano Purushavat. Now, Sthano Purushavat is a very famous example in the Shastra. Here, the word Purusha has to be understood as a thief. Okay. What happens is, in villages and all, they will have this stump of it, some old trees, only stump will be there with maybe 2 branches and maybe little bit of leaves on the top and all that. It will be more or less a bare tree. And during dusk time, it will appear as if it is somebody who is standing with 2 hands here. And if some mild wind is blowing, the leaves will also be shaking. And mind you, the time is a dusk time. It will appear as if there is somebody who is standing, some thief who is standing there. It's another version of the Raju Sarpa example. So, like that, when there is semi-darkness or semi-light, which is our condition, today all the avidya is not total ignorance like we have in deep sleep state. It is not like that. We have some understanding of that there is something Atma, but we are confusing it with Anatma. So similarly, this Tanu, the trunk of the tree is visible. But because of the semi-darkness, because of the, what we can say, Ajnanam, darkness of Ajnanam, we are mistaking it to be a thief or somebody who is there standing tall, trying to create some trouble for us. So this is the example he gives. So what is happening to us is also the same thing. Because of that Bhranti, we are missing the real Atma, the real understanding, the real nature of the Atma, recognizing our true nature, and we are actually looking at this entire world, looking at our body, mind complex, everything, and we are afraid of that. Fear overcomes us. This avidya, this ajnana, samsara, whatever word we can use, what are the features of that? The features of that are, number 1, feeling of insecurity. Isn't it? And which arises from what? Feeling of fear. So the first result of this Dvaitam gives us a fear, a problem. We feel totally insecure. So we are looking for security everywhere. Artha Purushartha. Monetary security, physical security, security of the house, security of our car, our everything that we possess, we want security. Because we are seeing Dvaitam everywhere, plurality everywhere. The moment you understand there is nothing other than me, if at all I am seeing everything, it is all Maya, and that is my own creation. It is just on the Maya screen, the projections which I am making. If I am an intelligent person, when I go and see a horror movie, I will just enjoy the movie. I won't become scared of whatever is being shown on the screen. Isn't it? Similarly, when I am interacting with this world, I will know that they are only my projections. I don't need to be scared of anything in this world. I don't need any security at all, because Swarupataya, I am a secure person. I am Mukta Purusha. So Satchit Ananda. There is no lack of security. I don't lack anything. I am Purna. This understanding, this assimilation of this understanding is what is called Brahma Prapti. Okay. So we can say this Tanu Purushavat is seeing a thief or a ghost or whatever you can take. I mean, different things we can attribute to that, right? So this Jiva Buddhi has to go Nivartate, right? Yeah, Jivasa Tattvike Rupe, I have covered all the words. So that is Jiva Buddhi Apagachati, goes away. So along with that, the Bhayam also goes away. And in fact, in Taittiriya Upanishad, there is a beautiful mantra. Adrishye, Anatme, Anirukte, Anilaye, Abhayam Pratishtam Vindhate, Ataso Bhayam Gato Bhavati. So this verse says the Atman attains fearless oneness with the Brahman. This Atma and Brahma become one with the Brahman who is invisible, incorporeal, right? Adrishye, Anatmiye, it doesn't have any Rupam and Gunam. Nama is called there, Brahman we call it. And it is undefined, Anirukte. Then Anilaye, Anilayane, that is, it doesn't have any one place of abode. And then Abhayam Pratishtam Vindati, he becomes fearless. Okay, free from fear. That's what he says. On the other hand, Yada Hevaisha Etat Etasmin Nudara Mantaram Kurite Atatasya Bhayam Bhavati. This also is said in Taittiriya Upanishad. However, this Atman makes the slightest distinction in Brahman, then there is a fear for it. Even if you say that there are two things, I am Atma and other thing is only Brahman, just pure Dvaita. That is not even get into plurality. Even if the understanding is I am Atma and there is, apart from me, there is only one entity, that is Brahman. Even when that happens, when you get that kind of a knowledge also, there will be Bhayam. Unless you come to the firm conviction and doubtless knowledge that there is nothing other than me. If at all there is a Brahman, that Brahman is me alone. This Bhayam will not go away. Where Bhayam always emanates from a second entity. Even when we are actually alone, we imagine there is a second entity and we can get Bhayam. When we are sleeping at night, suppose already we are going to stay a big house, nobody else is there, we are alone. Then even if some rat has run somewhere, some small sound we get, we will feel fear. So what Vedanta teaches you is that understand that there is nothing else. Again and again you will have to tell this. I remember as a small child, the toilet will be outside the room wherever we sleep, right? Those days and all, we didn't have this attached toilet concept. In the house, there will be a toilet for which you may have to walk through a veranda or an open space and then go to the toilet. Then as a child, what will happen is night, you may have to go to the toilet. So the child will wake up the parents, I want to go to the toilet. So they will say, you go, nothing will happen. There is nothing. You won't go. So what they will do, because he is afraid that there is something there. Parents know there is nothing. So they will, different people have different habits. They will keep on calling the child's name. They don't want to get up because they are half asleep. So you go, we will keep calling your name so that you will know that we are here, and then you won't get afraid of anything there. So the child will quickly go and finish his job and come back. So like that, anything, even a bhranti that could be something there will create fear in us. So these are all we have to understand. We have to reflect upon all these things when we are trying to remove this misunderstanding. So all this is what is called Brahmatva Praptihi. So it is more a viyoga of the avidya rather than yoga of Brahman. That is how we have to understand. More of a viyoga than a yoga. Okay. So we don't attain Brahman. We just keep on rejecting the Jiva Buddhi and reminding ourselves, Aham Sarvada Brahma Eva. This is the message of the 45th sloka. Now let us see the 46th sloka. Tattva Swarupanubhavat Utpannam Jnana Manjasa Aham Mameti Chajnanam Bhadate Digbhamadhivat. So you must remember, we are all talking here about Jnana Phala. This is the topic from 39th or 40th sloka we started, right? So here Adi Shankara introduces the rope snake example like. So Tattva Swarupa Anubhavat Utpannam Jnana Manjasa Aham Mameti Cha Ajnanam Bhadate Digbhamadhivat. Very simple Sanskrit, right? So what he is trying to say is that when taking the Rajju Sarpa example, when the Rajju Jnanam arises, the Rajju Ajnanam disappears. The removal of that Ajnanam itself immediately, simultaneously gives you the Jnanam of that it is a rope only, not a snake. Right? And it destroys some other things also. What are they? All those which were the consequences of that Ajnanam. Ajnana janyam yat kinchit vartate, Ajnana karyam yat kinchit vartate, tadapi jnanam nashayati. What were those? When, because of Ajnanam, we were seeing a snake on the rope, there was bhayam. We wanted to run away. We wanted to even become a himsa-kari. We wanted to kill that snake. We were looking for one big stick. All these are all consequences of this Ajnanam of misunderstanding the rope to be a snake. A guru came and you had a torchlight and he saw you are sweating profusely. Yes, what happened? You seem to be mortally afraid. What happened to you? Then you say, Guruji, please, there is a snake there. Don't shout, otherwise it will come and bite us. Guruji asks, where is the snake? Then he shows, you see there? It's lying coiled like this. Guruji says, let me show the torch. He shows the torch and he finds that it's only a rope. He says, hey madman, it's only a rope. There is no snake there. All this snake was your Bhranti. See, I am showing the light. You can see for yourself, it's only a rope. If you want, I will go and touch that rope and see whether it bites me or not. So the Guru shows that light. And what is that light? It's the light of the Shastra. So with that light, when you understand that it was never a snake, it was only a rope, all the other things which were consequences of that, your fear and then looking for trying to kill the snake or trying to run away from the snake, all those consequences of the Bhranti go away immediately. It is not that the Guru shines the torch and then after 5 minutes you realize, now I understand it is a snake. No. At that very moment, there is no distance, time-wise or space-wise, between that understanding, misunderstanding going away and understanding coming. Immediately, it happens. So that's what he is saying here. So other things are pointed out like Sarpa Adhyasa, Sarpa Bhrantihi, and then Sarpa Kalpana. All those things go away, rather. Right? All these are products of the ignorance. So Ajnanam being the Karanam, when the Karanam is gone, the Karyam also is gone. All that follows the Karanam is gone. Right? Karana Nashe Sati Karya Nashaha. So, Jnanam does not directly destroy the adhyasa of the snake. Jnanam only destroys the ignorance. When ignorance is gone, adhyasa goes away. Right? So that is what we have to say, adhyasa nivrittihi here. So Brahma Jnanam destroys what? Brahma Ajnanam. It destroys. That alone is the direct result. Because Jnanam cannot do anything else. Brahma Ajnanam alone is the Karanam for all our samsara problems. And all that Jnanam does is it removes the Brahma Ajnanam, and along with that all the samsara problems also, which are the consequences, which are the Karyam. Because Brahma Ajnanam is the Karanam and the samsara is the Karyam. That is the cause, and these are all the results or effects of the Brahma Ajnanam. When Jnanam comes and removes the Brahma Ajnanam, all the samsara also disappears along. That's why the Raju Sarpa example is a good example, right? So all this Jivatvam, Samsaritvam, Sukham, Dukkham, all these are all adhyasas. They are all gone in one shot. They are removed. When we understand Krodha, Kama, Krodha, all those, everything you can take into this. They are all Ajnanam, based results of that Ajnanam. So the Brahma Jnanam removes the Karanam itself. Karanam Nashe Sati Karya Nasha. That's right. Karyam Nashyati. So instead of using the word Jivatvam, Samsaraha and all, Shankaracharya here uses two beautiful words, Ahankara and Mamakara. So here he refers to the samsara as Aham. He says, Aham Mama Iti Cha Ajnanam Badate. Right? So Ajnanam he is defining here as Mama and Aham and Mama. And in fact, if you analyze and reduce everything, it reduces to these two only, Aham and Mama. The whole samsara, we can define it in these two words. Either it is Aham or it is mine. I or mine. That is all. Okay. So here he says that this Ajnana Samsara is referred to as aham, which is ahankara, and so this aham mama iti adhyasa or bhranti, confusion, which is born out of ignorance, right? Why is this? He's raised a hand. Is there, no? You are there, Raman? You raised the hand? You said want to say something?
Yeah, no.
No.
I could not get connection now, so I might have tried that actually.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I'm here only. I removed that.
Fine, thank you. Okay, right.
Yeah.
So, therefore he says, Tattva Swarupa Anubhavat Utpannam Jnanam. Right? Anubhava, again a word, a very, very tricky word. We have to in Vedanta, we come across all these words because there is no other way to explain it. Limitation of the language, whether you say it in English or in Sanskrit. Right? So it says Tattva Swarupa Anubhavat Utpannam Jnanam. The knowledge which is born out of the Tattva Swarupa Anubhava. Anubhava, immediately will come to our mind experience. That means Brahman or Atma is something to be experienced. Immediate Anubhava. And this is what the other people all use. These words they use and say that your entire Advaita Vedanta is a bogus philosophy. You are giving new meanings to accepted meanings of these words like apnoti and anubhavam and all that. In order to justify what you want to interpret, which is not the case. This is what all these Dvaitins and Visishta Advaitins charge the Advaitin with. Right? But having said that, when Shankaracharya is interpreting all these things in the way he has interpreted, he shows the pramanam for that also. His only contention is you cannot pick and choose out of context some words, some sentences and interpret it the way you like. That is where he differs from all the other people, other philosophers. He says you have to understand Vedanta as a whole. You have to read all the Upanishads and see the broad picture what they are conveying. You cannot just pick and choose from here one para there. This is what it says, this is what it says. You cannot say that. So if the word Anubhavat or Apnoti are all used, we need to understand those words in the correct context. That is what Adi Shankara's approach is always that. Whether it is Bhagavad Gita, Bhashyam, or Brahma Sutra, Bhashyam. Brahma Sutra, Bhashyam is the ultimate. There, all these things he covers. How any word has to be interpreted. And there are rules. In Sanskrit language, there are rules for interpreting words. So his charge is, when you see a word, why are you giving it a narrow interpretation, dictionary meaning? Give it a Vedantic meaning. And then see whether that meaning which is given fits into the message which Vedanta wants to convey. If you don't accept it, explain to me how Aham Brahmasmi and Tattvamasi, Pragyanam Brahma, Aham Atma Brahma, all these thousands of Mahavakyams we see, explain those to me. That they don't explain. Because they are pick and choosers. They will choose what is convenient to them. From Ishavasya Upanishad to one mantra, they will choose and say, this is what the Upanishad says. They won't read before. They won't read starting with Purnamadav, Purnamidam, Purna. That they won't interpret. But they will pick up something else and say, this is what the Upanishad says. This is the essential difference between different matams which are there. And that is why in today, if you look at it, the most popular and the most appealing philosophy is Advaita philosophy. Even Westerners, scientists who are totally supposed to be rational people, many of them accept Advaita philosophy. So there is a value in this Advaita teaching that we have to realize. Okay. So coming back to this, when we are using the word Anubhavat, this is often used in Vedanta. So we must not just say, okay, this is a common word. No, there's a purpose why Vedanta is using these words, right? So the need to understand. Even if you take it as Anubhava, as experience, what is that experience? Experience, every experience is a Brahma Anubhava only. Every thought that comes into our mind and then we are able to recognize that thought is Brahma Anubhava only. When I am talking to you, it is Brahma Anubhava. When you are listening to me, it is Brahma Anubhava. Because without that Brahman, nothing can exist. It is a Sat. Nature of Brahman is Sat. If we understand that, everything that we say it exists is Sat Swarupa. Yeah, it is. Asdhatu or Bhudhatu. Either of them you take. Asti Bhavati. So anything we say Asti, 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 it is what? A Brahma experience only. Or Bhavati, 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 Brahma experience only. So where is the question of any special experience of Brahman? Every Kshanam we are experiencing Brahman. If I say I am, Brahma experience. If I say you are, Brahma experience. If I say this flask is, Brahma experience. What is that am or you refer to? They are referred to existence. The Satswarupa of Brahman. That is what it is. So when you say Anubhava, you have to understand that Anubhava not in a narrow sense of experiencing something, but we have to understand in a broader sense, every experience is a Brahma Anubhava only. That is how we have to understand. And that is what he is trying to point out here. Okay. So he knows that he has used the word Anubhava. So this word Anubhava can be better understood as Aparoksha Jnana. Anubhava means Aparoksha Jnana, knowing myself as Brahman and not coming through any new experience. Today also I am Brahman. The only thing is I don't know. That's all. And when through this Shastra my Ajnanam is gone, I will know I am Brahman. That's the only difference. The knowing is not a new event happening. Moksha is not a new event happening. We will never get moksha. Vedanta will not deliver moksha. Why? Because Vedanta can't give you what you already have. How can Vedanta give you that? That is why Vedanta can only remove a ignorance of that fact. That is the purpose of the whole Vedanta. And we will see more in the next class. I will need time. Okay, I'll say the prayers. Any doubt is there, we can clarify. Om Purnamadav Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om
Shanti, Shanti,
Shanti
Shanti.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Gurubhyo Namaha.
Om. Thank you all. Any
Namaskar, Mama.
questions?
Thank you. Namaskaram.
Thank you. Namaskaram.
Leave.
Any questions are there?
Thank you, Mama.
Thank you.
Sorry, late ஆயிடுது கொஞ்சம்.
இல்ல பரவாயில்ல. அத there is some problem which seems that நான் காத்தால இந்த லிங்க் அனுப்பிச்சது யாருக்குமே போய் சேர்ந்துட்டல போல இருக்கு.
ஆமா லிங்க் வரல. நான் அப்புறம் பரிச தேடினேன்.
லிங்க் வரல கனெக்ட் ஆகல எனக்கு லிங்கே வரல.
You see, I sent it in the morning. In fact, first thing in the morning, that's what I did around 8 o'clock.
I got connected.
Seems there was some problem in the net connection or anything. அது போயிட்டல தோன்றது.
11:30 connect ஆச்சு.
What I will do is, for the sake of this today's class, that I will upload it the recording to the YouTube, and then I will send you all the links. So in case you want to watch it, you can watch the lecture video. Okay.
Okay. Namaskaram, Mama.
Namaskaram. Thank you very much, all of you.
Hari Om.
Thank you.